All right. Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Once Upon a Turkey Leg. It's Thursday, and it's time to gather together, you and me, everybody, um, to listen to some fun stories. And tonight, I have some good ones for you, and I'm very excited to bring those to you tonight. Okay, welcome in everybody. Hope you've had a great day today. I had a pretty good day today, all things considered. Well, yeah. Um, I was down in Disney Springs for a few hours, had a good lunch with a friend, and came home again and have been just doing some things around the house and getting ready for this stream tonight. So, hello to Dawn, Hitchhiking Bones. Hello, happy Thursday. Mark Langenkamp. Hello, hello, happy Thursday. Tina McNeil. Hello, happy Thursday, and hello, Chuck, as well. Hello, hello. And Amanda, welcome in. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Thank you everyone for being here today. Um, so yeah, if you have not already, bop that like button. It's a little thumbs up symbol. Um, and if you are watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Leave a comment and let me know that you were watching. Kay Wilby, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome in. So, um, I think let's just get right into the story. These stories, normally I read two stories here on Once Upon a Turkey Leg. Um, tonight, it could be today when you're watching this, if it's you're watching on the replay. Um, for this edition of Once Upon a Turkey Leg, I am reading the stories for Toy Story, Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3. And I need to acknowledge this before I get started. Toy Story, the original Toy Story, is celebrating 30 years. 30 years um, of the toys in Andy's room. So that is amazing. I remember when that first came out. I don't think I saw it right away, but I saw it soon after, and I remember being amazed at that point. The 3D animation that they could pull off with, that, and then of course they went on to Pixar went on to do so many other stories that we all know and love. Bugs Life, Finding Nemo, Cars, Inside Out, The Monsters Incorporated, just to name a few of those. Wally. Um, so yeah, happy 38 years to Toy Story today. Julie Gerbil, welcome in. Hello. Gloria Thibodeau, welcome in. Hello. So Cargo, hello. It's another edition of Turkey Tube. So, without further ado, because I'm reading three stories tonight, let's go with the first story. I picked this book up inside the little lending library that they have. I don't know if they have any in your if you're familiar with that, but there's actually a few. There's actually four that I know of in that are pretty easy for me to get to. So I check in with them once in a while, and I scored this Pixar storybook collection, and I'm going to read our first story tonight is Toy Story. Do 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 do. Jason, hello. Hi, Jason. Welcome in. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Andy was a young boy with a big imagination. He loved playing with his toys. His favorite was Sheriff Woody, a pull-string cowboy doll. But there was something Andy didn't know. When he wasn't around, his toys came to life. One day, Woody called a meeting of all the toys. Andy's family was moving soon. Woody wanted to make sure they were ready so no one would get left behind. Woody had other news too. Andy's birthday party has been moved to today, he said. The toys were worried. A birthday party meant new toys. What if Andy liked his new toys more than the ones he already had? Woody sent the Green Army men downstairs to report on Andy's presence. As Andy opened his last gift, their radio cut out. Woody and the other toys panicked. What had Andy gotten? Uh-oh. Suddenly, Andy and his friends burst into Andy's bedroom. They left the mysterious new toy in Woody's spot on Andy's bed and raced back out. Woody carefully climbed onto the bed to meet the new toy. I am Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger, the new toy said. Woody tried to tell Buzz that he was a toy, but Buzz didn't believe him. He thought he was a real Space Ranger. Buzz also thought he could fly. Buzz bounced off a ball, yelling, To infinity and beyond! Woody rolled his eyes. That's just falling with style, he said. But the other toys were impressed. Buzz was a hit. The real surprise came at bedtime. When Andy got into bed, he took Buzz with him instead of Woody. Woody couldn't believe it. Didn't Andy love him anymore? One evening, Andy's mom suggested a trip to Pizza Planet. She told Andy he could bring one toy. Woody wanted to be picked. He tried to knock Buzz behind a desk, but instead the Space Ranger fell out the window. Woody said it was an accident, but the other toys didn't believe him. Suddenly, Andy burst into the room. When he couldn't find Buzz, he decided to take Woody with him instead. As Woody and Andy got into the car, a figure emerged from the bushes. It was Buzz. He leaped into the car's bumper onto the car's bumper just as Andy's mom began to drive away. When Andy's mom stopped at a gas station, Buzz jumped into the back seat with Woody. The two began to fight and tumbled out of the car. As they fought, Andy's mom drove off without them. Luckily, Woody saw a Pizza Planet delivery truck, which could get them back to Andy, and the two toys hopped in. At Pizza Planet, Woody spotted Andy, but Buzz had seen the spaceship crane game. He thought it was a real spaceship that would take him home. The Space Ranger crawled inside. Woody knew he had to get Buzz back. He followed Buzz into the game, but before he could convince the Space Ranger to go home with him, the crane grabbed them. They had been caught by Andy's neighbor Sid. There's the rocket ship. There's Sid and the claw. Ooh. Sid took the toys home and carried them to his bedroom. The room was dark and eerie. Strange mutant toys Sid had created by mixing parts of other toys hid everywhere. Terrified, Buzz and Woody ran into the hall and straight into Sid's dog Scud. The toys fled and became separated from each other. Oh my. As Buzz ducked through an open door, he heard a voice saying, "Calling Buzz Lightyear, this is Star Command." An ad for the Buzz Lightyear toy was on TV. Buzz was shocked. "Is it true?" he whispered. "Am I really a toy?" Desperate to prove that he was a real space ranger, Buzz tried to fly, but he crashed to the floor, breaking off his arm. "Look at me," Buzz moaned when Woody found him. "I can't even fly out of the window." That gave Woody an idea. Looking out Sid's window, he called to his friends in Andy's room. But when the toys saw Woody holding Buzz's arm, they thought he had hurt Buzz. Suddenly, the mutant toys grabbed Buzz's broken arm. Woody thought they were trying to hurt the Space Ranger, but instead, they fixed him. Just then, Sid burst into the room. He grabbed Buzz and tied a rocket to his back. "I've always wanted to put a spaceman into orbit," he said, laughing. Sid was going to light off Buzz's rocket first thing in the morning. Woody tried to free Buzz, but Buzz was too sad to care about the rocket. "You were right," he told Woody with a sigh. "I'm just a toy." Woody tried to cheer him up. "Over in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest. And it's not because you're a space ranger. It's because you're a toy. You're his toy. Finally, Buzz realized Woody was right. Being a toy was important. They had to find a way back to Andy. Woody had a plan, but he was going to need the mutant toy's help. We'll have to break a few rules, Woody told them, but if it works, it'll help everyone. The next morning, as Sid prepared to light Buzz's rocket, the mutant toys put their plan into motion. There is Sid. One by one, they came to life and surrounded the boy. Finally, it was Woody's turn. Sitting up, he warned Sid to play nice with his toys, or else. Terrified, Sid ran off, promising never to hurt another toy. Buzz and Woody didn't have time to celebrate. It was the day of the big move. If they didn't hurry, they would get left behind. The duo ran toward Andy's house, but the rocket was still attached to Buzz's back. He couldn't fit through the fence. Just go, I'll catch up, he told Woody. Woody wasn't about to leave without his friend. But by the time Woody helped Buzz through the fence, Andy's car was driving away. Hello, FF1N 3SSE. I'll just say F1N for short. Welcome in. The two friends rushed after the van. Barking, Scud raced behind them. Buzz managed to climb onto the van's bumper, but the cruel dog caught Woody by his boot. Buzz bravely leaped off the bumper and fought off the dog. Woody pulled himself onto the van, but there was a problem. Now Buzz was stranded on the road. Woody scrambled into the van and found the box that contained Andy's toys. Using RC Car's remote control, he sent the car back to pick up Buzz. Andy's toys thought Woody was trying to get rid of RC too. Shouting angrily, they threw him out of the van. Luckily, RC and Buzz picked Woody up, but RC's batteries were not strong enough to keep up with the fan. Oh my. Woody, the rocket! Buzz yelled. Woody lit the fuse, and the trio soared into the sky. Buzz dropped RC into the van. Then he extended his wings, freeing them from the rocket. Buzz, you're flying! Woody exclaimed. This isn't flying, Buzz replied. This is falling with style. Seconds later, they dropped gently through the sunroof of Andy's car. Woody and Buzz were back where they belonged. Their adventure was over, but their friendship was just beginning. Okay, excuse me. Everyone settled into the new house. All too soon, it was Christmas time, and that meant new toys. You're not worried, are you? Woody asked Buzz as all the toys listened to Andy open his gifts. Are you? Buzz replied. Now, Buzz, what could Andy possibly get that would be worse than you? Woody teased. The friends listened as Andy opened his first present. Their eyes grew wide as they heard an unmistakable sound. Woof, woof! It was a puppy! And that is our first story tonight, Toy Story. So welcome into Finesse. Welcome in. Great to have you here tonight. Welcome in. And that's our first story. That is Toy Story, the original Toy Story. I have not seen that in so long. I think it's time for me to give that a watch. Second story tonight. Oh, nope, that's our third story. Where's the second story? Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on. There we go. Our second story tonight will come second, and that is Toy Story 2. Hey, Woody, ready to go to cowboy camp? Andy shouted, bursting into his bedroom. Andy grabbed his two favorite toys, Woody the cowboy and Buzz the space ranger. Never tangle with the unstoppable duo of Woody and Buzz Lightyear, he cried, linking the toys' arms together. Suddenly, there was a loud rip. Woody's shoulder had torn open. Andy's mom suggested fixing Woody on the way to camp, but Andy shook his head. No, just leave him. A few days later, Andy's mom began to clean his room. She was having a yard sale and wanted to get rid of some of Andy's old toys. Andy's mom grabbed Wheezy the penguin and brought him into the yard. Woody was shocked. He couldn't let her give his friend away. Woody whistled. Woody whistled for Andy's dog, Buster. He climbed onto the dog's back, and the two raced outside to save the penguin. Woody tied Wheezy to Buster's collar, but Woody couldn't hold on with a broken shoulder. He fell off Buster and was picked up by a strange man. The man's name was Al. When no one was looking, he hid Woody in his coat. Then he hopped into his car and drove away. Buzz saw what happened from the window. He ran after the car, but he was too late. All Buzz saw was the car's license plate and a few feathers floating through the air. Woody was gone. Buzz knew he had to get Woody back. He was trying to figure out who had taken the cowboy when an ad came on the TV for Al's Toy Barn. The man on TV was dressed like a chicken. Buzz remembered the feathers and the car's license plate. LZTYBRN. Al must have taken Woody. Oh no, the chicken. Get the chicken. Meanwhile, Al took Woody to his apartment. As he left, a packing crate burst open. A cowgirl named Jessie and a toy horse named Bullseye popped out. Yee-haw, it's really you, Jessie shouted. Woody was confused. Why were the toys so happy to see him? Let's show him who he really is, said an old prospector doll named Pete. Bullseye turned up the lights, revealing items carrying Woody's picture. Posters, magazines, lunchboxes, plates, and toys. Then Jessie turned on an old TV show called Woody's Roundup. Woody could hardly believe his eyes. He was the star. Prospector Pete explained that Roundup toys had become valuable collectibles. Now that Al had a Woody doll, he was selling the complete set to a museum in Japan. Oh no. Mandy Adams, hello, welcome in. Back at Andy's house, Buzz and the toys set out to rescue their friend. As the sun rose, they spotted Al's toy barn, but it was on the other side of a busy road. The toys hid beneath traffic cones and dashed across the street. Inside the toy barn, inside the toy barn, Buzz found an amazing display of new Buzz Lightyear toys. Each one was wearing a super utility pack. Buzz was reaching for one of the utility packs when a hand grabbed his wrist. It was a new Buzz Lightyear toy. The toy thought he had caught a runaway space ranger. New Buzz quickly tied Buzz to a box and placed him back on the shelf. Oh my. Meanwhile, the other toys had found Al's office. Listening to him on the phone, they realized that Al planned to sell Woody. The toys climbed into Al's briefcase. Spotting new Buzz, they called him to join them. They didn't know he wasn't their Buzz. Elsewhere, the real Buzz broke free. He followed his friends, but Buzz was being followed too by the evil Emperor Zurg. Oh no, sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance. Not far away, Woody's arm had been repaired. He looked brand new. He was ready to go to the museum. But Woody didn't want to be sold. He wanted to go home to Andy. I belonged to a little girl once, said Jessie sadly. She played with me every day until she grew up. Then she gave me away. Even the greatest kids outgrow their toys. Woody began to worry that Andy would forget about him too. Maybe it was better to go to the museum. As Woody and Jessie talked, Andy's toys arrived at Al's apartment. Woody was confused. There were two Buzz Lightyears. There's no time to explain. Come on, Woody, let's go, the real Buzz said. But to his amazement, Woody refused. The Roundup gang needed him to make a full set. And what if his shoulder broke again? Would Andy still want him? Somewhere in that pad of stuffing is a toy who taught me that life's only worth living if you are being loved by a kid, Buzz told Woody. I traveled all this way to rescue that toy because I believed him. But Woody still refused to go. As the toys turned to leave, Woody watched a small smiling boy on the TV. It made him realize how much he missed Andy. Hey Buzz, wait, he shouted. He started to follow his friends, but the prospector blocked the way. He had spent his whole life in a box, and he was ready for the museum. At that moment, the toys heard footsteps. Al was coming. Uh-oh. Al packed Woody and the other Roundup toys in a case and dashed out the door. Andy's toys followed behind, but as they headed for the elevator, they heard an evil laugh. It's Zurg! Gasped Rex. Panicked, the dinosaur closed his eyes and turned away. Thwack! His tail knocked Zurg over. Rex had defeated Zurg. Andy's toys opened the elevator's emergency hatch. Slinky hung down to grab Woody, but the prospector yanked Woody back down. A moment later, the elevator doors opened and Al hurried outside with the Roundup gang still in the case. Oh my. Al was getting away. Luckily, Mr. Potato Head spotted a truck nearby. The toys jumped in and set off for the airport. They found Woody at the check-in desk. As Al's bag thumped onto the conveyor belt, the toys jumped on beside it. Thousands of boxes, bags, and suitcases swept past them, but Buzz kept his eye locked on Al's green case. Buzz ran along the conveyor belt. Finally, he reached Woody, but when he opened the bag, it was the prospector who popped out. Pow! He hit Buzz, Buzz fought back. Soon he had tied the prospector to a passing backpack. Meanwhile, Woody and Bullseye managed to get out of Al's bag, but Jessie was still trapped inside. Woody followed the suitcases onto the plane. He searched the bags until he found Jessie. Oh, let me show you this picture. The prospector and Woody. Okay. Just then, the plane began to move. They had to get off. The pair found a hatch and crawled down onto the plane's wheels. Suddenly, Buzz and Bullseye rode up. Woody lassoed his pull string to a bolt on the wheels. He grabbed Jessie's hand, and they both daringly dropped onto Bullseye's back. Woof! They were safe. A few days later, Andy returned home from cowboy camp. When he saw the new toys on his bed, he was thrilled. But he was even happier to see Woody. He couldn't wait to play with all his cowboy toys. Someday Andy would grow up. Maybe he wouldn't always play with toys. But Woody and Buzz knew there was no place they'd rather be. Besides, they had each other to infinity and beyond. And that is the end of our second story tonight. Toy Story 2. And now, without further ado, we move on to our third story tonight. Toy Story 3. Woody and the other toys had always loved playing with Andy. But now Andy was grown up. Lately, the toys had been spending more and more time in the toy box. Woody and his friends tried to get Andy's attention by hiding his cell phone, but it was no use. Andy found his phone, but he left the toys where they were. Finally, the toys realized the sad truth. Andy would be leaving soon for college, and he didn't want to play with toys anymore. He had outgrown them. Oh no. One day, Andy's mom came into his room with some plastic bags. "Let's get to work," she said. "Anything you're not taking to college either goes in the attic or it's trash." Andy's mom suggested that he donate his toys to a daycare center. Oh, sorry. Andy's mom suggested that he donate his toys to a daycare center, but Andy shook his head. "No one's gonna want those. They're junk." Inside the toy box, Woody and his friends gasped. Junk! Andy opened up the toy chest. He scooped up his toys and dumped them into a garbage bag. But when he got to Buzz and Woody, he paused. They had always been his favorite toys. Finally, he set Woody aside and placed Buzz in the bag with the other toys. Woody was shocked. Sneaking into the hallway, he watched as Andy pulled down the ladder to the attic. He wasn't throwing his toys away after all. He was saving them. Just then, Andy's sister called out for Andy. He set the bag down and went to help her. A few minutes later, Andy's mom walked by. Thinking the bag was trash, she carried it outside. Oh my goodness. Woody raced outside, but he was too late. He watched in horror as the garbage truck picked up the bag and his friends. Suddenly, Woody saw a recycling bin moving across the yard. His friends had escaped. The toys climbed into the daycare donation box just as Andy's mom started the car. Oof! Woody leaped in after them. He tried to explain Andy's mom's mistake, but the toys didn't believe him. They thought Andy had thrown them out. Daycare is a sad, lonely place for washed up toys who have no owners, Woody said. You'll be begging to go home. But when Woody and the toys arrived, Sunnyside Daycare didn't look lonely at all. A pink bear named Lotso greeted the toys. Lotso showed the toys around the daycare center and explained that the children would be there to play with them soon. Woody tried to convince his friends to come home, but they refused. They were excited to be played with by kids again. Woody left by himself. On his way back to Andy's house, a girl named Bonnie picked him up. She took the cowboy home and spent the rest of the day playing with him. The other toys weren't so lucky. Lotso had sent them to the caterpillar room where the toddlers played. When recess finished, playtime began. The toddlers were not gentle with the toys. They tied Slinky into a knot. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. They tied Slinky into a knot, dipped Jessie in paint, and covered him with glitter and glue. The toys could not believe it. This wasn't fun. It was horrible. Screaming, a toddler threw Buzz into the air. The Space Ranger landed on the windowsill. Peering into the next daycare room, He saw a group of older children playing gently with Lotso and the other toys. Buzz wondered why he and his friends had been put in a room with toddlers. He was sure it was a mistake. Meanwhile, at Bonnie's house, Woody learned that Lotso was not as nice as he seemed. He had once belonged to a girl named Daisy, but when she accidentally left him behind at the park, he became mean. Now he ruled over all of Sunnyside. Woody knew he had to rescue his friends. That night, back at Sunnyside, Buzz overheard Lotso's toys saying that Buzz and his friends had been sent to the caterpillar room on purpose. But before Buzz could tell his friends the truth, Lotso caught him. The bear offered to let Buzz into the older kid's room if he would leave his friends behind. But Buzz refused. Lotso nodded to his toys. They flipped a switch on Buzz's back, returning him to his factory settings. Buzz no longer remembered his friends. Now he took orders from Lotso. When Lotso and his when Lotso and his toys reached the caterpillar room, they found Andy's toys trying to escape. Lotso had Buzz lock up the toys. They weren't going anywhere. Hmm. The next morning, Woody snuck into Bonnie's backpack. When she arrived at the daycare center, he found and untied his friends. He had an escape plan. That night, the toys put Woody's plan in motion. Attacking Buzz, they held down his reset button. They hoped it would make him remember who he was. Then, dragging Buzz behind them, the toys made their way to the garbage chute. If they could get inside, the garbage truck would carry them away from Sunnyside. But there was a problem. Lotso was one step ahead of them, blocking their escape. The toys managed to get into the dumpster, but Lotso followed them. Suddenly, the dumpster shook. The garbage truck had arrived. The truck dumped the toys in a landfill. A few minutes later, a bulldozer picked up Woody and his friends and dropped them onto a conveyor belt. The toys were pushed toward an incinerator. At the last moment, a giant claw scooped them up. Andy's alien toys had saved the day. Spotting a familiar garbage truck, the toys hitched a ride to Andy's house. Home at last, they climbed into a box marked Attic, while Woody got into the box labeled College. Just then, Woody had an idea. He wrote a note and stuck it to the box lid for Andy to read. A little while later, Andy pulled up in front of a nice house. Bonnie was playing in the front yard. One by one, Andy took his toys out of their box and introduced them to the girl. "These are mine," he said. "I'm going away, so I need someone really special to look after them." When Andy got to the bottom of the box, he was surprised to find Woody inside. It was hard for him to part with the cowboy, but he knew Bonnie would take care of the toy. As Andy drove away, Woody smiled. The toy's life with Andy was ending, but their adventures with Bonnie had just begun. And that is the end of our third and final story tonight, Toy Story 3. Hope you enjoyed all those Toy Story stories tonight. I had a lot of fun reading those despite my little coughing attacks. Um, yeah, thank you all for joining tonight. And hope you enjoyed it. And that's going to do it for this edition of Once Upon a Turkey Leg. Quick programming note, I will not be live next Thursday. I will also not be live Tuesday for Let's Talk Turkey because of some stuff going on. Instead, I am going to be live coming up on Saturday, this weekend, and then next weekend, the following Saturday. So the next 2 Saturdays at 9 p.m., I will be doing weekend editions of Let's Talk Turkey, just so you don't have any um, turkey leg stir withdrawal. Um, so make plans to join me um, for the next 2 Saturdays for some Let's Talk Turkey, some chatting about stuff. So, um, with that, guys, have a great gobbletastic Thursday. Thank you to everyone watching live and also everyone on the replay. Thank you again. And yeah, so take care, guys. And until next time, remember, you've got a friend in me. Take care.